My bench press PR went from 95 kilograms to 115 kilograms for reps in less than 3 months, and in this video I'm gonna show you how. So when I started my fitness journey, I was fat. I was over 100 kilograms, very overweight, and my biggest goal was honestly to just lose some weight. So I'd always want to cut and honestly thought bulking was kind of stupid. I didn't even believe in that. Until I started actually bulking. It's easy to lift heavy when you're a bit overweight and actually bulking, you know? So when I was at my peak cut, I was literally like 80 kilograms and I was like, it's time to bulk. So I started eating like 3 to 5,000 calories a day, which is honestly more like dirty bulking than anything. And I heavily recommend against dirty bulking. It's very bad, bro. Trust me. I know you think like, man, I'm just gonna eat anything I want, as much as I want, and I'm also bulking, and you use it as an excuse to make yourself and people around you think you're not that much of a loser, but it kind of is. And trust me, it's not even as good as you think, because even if you're clean bulking, you're still eating like, let's say 3,500 calories, which is a lot of food. Like maybe when you go from cutting, even 3,500 calories is not enough for like a week. Like you're mentally so hungry because you've been like cutting for so long. So even 3,500 calories is just not enough. So you start eating 5, 6, 7, 8,000 and you get really fat. And then when you get very fat, it takes you so much time cutting to actually get back to a decent level of body fat. And you actually, because you've been cutting for so long, you actually still lose some muscle mass. Garbage food is overrated. Eating it here and there is actually cool, but all the time is horrible. I hated my life when I was dirty bulking. Like the first maybe week or two feels amazing, I'm not gonna lie, but then after like a month or two you get very fat. And bro, trust me, I heavily underestimated how fat and how fast I can really. I heavily underestimated how fast I can get fat. My first recommendation to breaking your PRs, here we go, is actually clean bulking. So go to any like ChatGPT or Gemini AI and literally just copy paste this prompt. I'm a male slash female. This is my height. This is my weight. I walk X amount of steps a day. This is important, by the way. Like, if you might be the same guy, but maybe for some reason, maybe your job is far or your school or you walk for just for fun, maybe you do more steps. So definitely see or check your steps on maybe like a watch or your phone, and just put your steps inside. And I wouldn't like really recommend going to those online calculators. It's still going to be like accurate, but it's more accurate to actually ask a smart AI and give it a lot of information more than like these online calculators literally ask you like 3 4 questions. They don't know how many steps you walk, like how many times you lift, and so just how many times you do weightlifting in the gym. I mean, maybe you do calisthenics. So just give it as much information as you can. And just ask it, what would you say is my maintenance calories? Also, if you do anything like extra, so maybe you're a waiter. I mean, maybe not a waiter, because a waiter basically does nothing but steps. And again, that's why I say put the steps. But let's say you do maybe construction. Definitely, like, you have to include that. That's going to be a much higher calorie maintenance, basically. So once you get that number, and it is going to be pretty accurate, and yes, it's not going to be 100% accurate. Let's say it's off by 200 calories. Let's say it tells you 3,000, but your actual maintenance is 2,800. So what? Those 200 calories are not going to make that huge of a difference. You have zero ways to 100% accurately count how many like calories is your actual maintenance. So let's say give you exactly 3,000. It's your choice. Do you want to eat 3,200 or maybe go like a slightly more aggressive bulk, and maybe even 400 500 calories is your new actual calories. So let's say it's 3,000. Now you eat 3,500 or 3,200 or 3,400, whatever. And track all your calories with a scale and MyFitnessPal or any like calorie calculator app that's comfortable for you. If you want to eat some junk food, I wouldn't recommend going over 20% of your calories being junk. So let's say you can eat per day maybe 600, 700, 800 calories from whatever, like ice cream, anything you think is like fun foods. Because if you do more than that, the side effects are really gonna stack. If you're eating 10, 20% junk food, I'm not gonna lie, there is not that many side effects, but more than that, definitely you're gonna see. Now, congrats, you're clean bulking. On to the next step. Most people can lift more than they realize. This is one thing I've actually realized when I sometimes coach a guy in the gym, or even in myself. Like, the weight you're doing currently feels heavy, so like there is no way I can go over this. Or let's say you do a heavy weight, that's your PR, but you can do 5 6 reps. This means you can lift heavier, so go for it. So let's say your bench is 80 kilograms for 2 reps. You could probably do 82 or 85 kilograms for 1 or 2 reps. Now, the bench is super important to have a spotter, by the way. Genuinely. Like, if you do not have a spotter, you instantly become weaker, because when you have a spotter, mentally you're like strong. You're like, oh man, like I have a spotter, I can go all in, because even if I fail, who cares? It's just gonna help me. I'm not gonna look embarrassing, I'm not gonna hurt myself. It's all good, right? So you need a spotter. I'm not saying like it's better to get a spotter. You literally need a spotter. I don't care if you do not have a gym or like a gym bro, a friend. Just literally ask anybody, hey bro, can you spot me? It's super important, bro, especially when you're going for those PRs. I always hit PRs when there is a spotter, and I do more reps when there is no spotter. So yeah, which makes you believe again you can lift it, since that's your, like, you max out your power when you're actually benching. And lastly, my third point is keep adding weight weekly. When you're bulking and you're bulking correctly, I just showed you how to bulk. It's simple again. Just be consistent, and yeah, when you're bulking, adding mass and size literally almost, yeah, daily, you can and should be able to bench more. My recommendation is adding 2.5 to 5 kilograms weekly to your bench. Now, of course, unless your bench is super high, the higher your bench, the slower it's gonna progress. But most of you probably, let's say, bench less than 100 kilograms, so definitely you can hit these numbers. That were my numbers when I was bulking. I was either maybe PRing 2.5 or maybe sometimes 5 kilograms on my bench every 1 or 2 weeks. That's it. If you follow everything I mentioned in this video, in 1 to 3 months, you'll add literally tens of kilograms to your bench press. That's how I personally went from barely doing, like I genuinely could barely do 95 kilograms to like 115 kilograms for 2 to 3 reps. I know that's not too many reps, but still. So if you have any questions or just for anything, just DM me on Instagram. My Instagram is in my about, or maybe comment on this video. And yeah, just lock in, bro.